If I were to guess, I feel that Dirk is sitting in his jail cell right now saying, it wasn't that serious. I think I overreacted. I actually had a good life a couple months ago. I was flying private everywhere. I had all my kids, access to all of them. I got a girl who I loved. I live in a big mansion. I'm doing shows in arenas in Chicago. Kanye's doing songs with me. Like everyone loves me. And now I'm sitting eating bologna sandwiches over something that really could have been completely avoided.
Right. And then I think Dirk's dad just linked up with FBG Duck's dad
I saw that. That was dope.
to push peace.
That was dope. But the one thing I didn't like, and I've talked about this before, is that I guess someone had interviewed Dirk's dad, and he said, well, I just find it ironic that my son gets arrested after he does a concert pushing peace and, putting up the pictures of all the people that he didn't get along with, like FBG Duck and so forth. And, he's getting more into his faith and so forth. And I'm like, man, you can't peace concert your way out of a murder for hire.
Right.
I know that's your son and you care about him. And I understand you're going to say whatever positive things you could say. And I think him linking up with Duck's dad, I think is dope, because I didn't even know Duck's dad was still out there like that. I only knew about his mom. I think that's great. But it just annoys me when people don't take responsibility for their actions or the actions of people around them and try to always say it's a conspiracy, right? Oh, the feds saw my son doing all this positive stuff, so they arrested him for murder. If he had just been doing more negative stuff, he could have been let free and nobody would have bothered him. Like, really? Is that what you really think?
Yeah.
In the same way that Dirk hates rats because someone snitched on his dad and his dad went to prison throughout his whole childhood. But when you look it up, his dad was arrested for having a drug operation. They found $8 million in cash. So you're not mad at your dad for selling drugs. You're mad at the guy that snitched on him. If there was nothing to snitch on, your dad wouldn't go to prison.
Right.
I personally don't have any fear of snitches because I don't do anything.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that also don't have any accountability, so it's just one of them. It's easier to blame other things than accepting things for what they are.
Yeah. What I would have liked to hear is like, something? My dad sold drugs and chose to live an illegal lifestyle, which almost always ends up in long prison sentences. I wish he hadn't have done that. And if he hadn't done that, I would have had my dad around. My life would have been different. And yes, someone snitched on him, but people always snitch in the drug game. So I shouldn't be surprised about that. I may not like the snitch, but if there's nothing to snitch on, nothing would have happened. You're mad at the snitch and not the person who's doing the crime.
Right.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I feel you're living life with blinders on and you're not really putting responsibilities where the responsibility has to go. And ultimately, that's what being a man is taking real responsibility. Okay, this happened because of these actions that I took or this person around me took. And that's what caused them to get into that situation. Like, all the arrests that you went through, did you ever, right now, when you're 30 years old, do you feel like you were the victim and because some people told on you, that's why all those bad things happened to you? Or is it because you chose to do certain crimes and you went to prison for it?
If you want me to be honest, I used to dream about killing my co-defendant. Yeah, when I first got locked up, I used to dream about it. I think I talked about it in the video. I was like, yeah, I wanted to kill him, his mom, the dog, the fish, everybody, because I was just blaming him. But by the time I was going home, I accepted responsibility and was like, you know what? I gave him something to snitch on. If I never did the shit with him, it would have never happened. And then not even a couple months ago, I fucking seen him.
Oh.
I sat down at a restaurant. I'm with my girl, and I look 2 tables behind her, and I see him with his family. And he didn't even like realize, you know, I'm the one that peeped game first. And I don't know, I felt all type of ways in a very short matter of time. Because I didn't want him to say something to me, like even if it was just like a hey, you know, because it's like at the end of the day, you did fucking rat. But at the same time, like, what the fuck am I really supposed to do? I was kind of surprised because I kind of wanted to fucking confront him. But I didn't. We just ended up getting out and going to a different restaurant. And I was just like, this shit ain't even worth it. And I thought I was over it until I seen him. And then it kind of brought back all that shit. But I was still able to just be like, you know what, fuck all that and just go somewhere else.
If he was eating by himself without his family, would you have sat down and talked to him?
I don't think I really want to. That's the thing is, it wasn't necessarily like, I didn't want him to come to me and try to be friendly. Because I feel like I have to, nah, we're not talking. You know, you did what you did. But I'm not going to go out of my fucking way to make this a thing. You know what I mean? Because once it gets going, it just gets going, bro. And it's just going to turn into what it turns into. So I think it's just better to just, I genuinely don't give a fuck about you. I don't care how you're doing. I don't care if you're doing bad. I don't care if you're doing good. It's just better if we just go our separate ways. And that's it.
If he saw you in the restaurant, walked over to you and said, you know something, man, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for cooperating against you and all the pain and sorrow that brought to you. I'm sorry, and I'm taking responsibility. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just done my time and not cooperated.
I'd probably accept that. Yeah, because it doesn't serve me anything to take it any other way, you know? But now if he tried to act like he was on some gangster shit, then it's like, all right, let's play. You know what I mean? But it just, the thing is, like, the specific person, when I never actually exposed him. Out of everybody I exposed, I never made a video on him. Because
Really?
when I got out and I actually looked him up, I found out he had a daughter. And how he looked was nothing like how we were back then. It looked as if he completely changed his life, moved out into the fucking country, was working a job and was taking care of his kid. There was no facade, there was no image, there was no trying to be a gangster. There was nothing there. So to me, it was like, for what? It seems like he moved on. So why am I going to hold on to it?